And getting people to be part of the process.
Exactly, and being active. Like I said, it sounds cliche, but you know what? If you're not part of the solution, you are definitely part of the
Part
problem.
of the problem.
I mean,
Okay,
you just are. We
that,
taught the kids that in South Africa.
exactly. That's a perfect segue into, we're about to go to another short break. Okay, so how do you measure a year? Hey, now, thanks very much to Lawrence Lizzati, my producer, for being able to find that tune from Rent on such short notice. I'm here with Christopher Cooper. This is Lee St. John, and you are listening to Quiet Achievers and Unsung Heroes. Chris, is Lawrence amazing or what?
He is amazing. Yeah, I'm over here just grinning, listening to the song.
Okay, so Chris, I want to ask you, you've filled us in on a number of where you've come from, some of the challenges, some of the successes, some of the amazing community work that you've done, some of the things. Who inspires you to step up and make a difference?
Wow. You know what? I'll go back to, as I said, those three women, as I call them, my three. My mother, my grandmother, and my aunt. And I'm going to tell you an interesting story about my aunt. My aunt was she's still living, she used to be a chemist, quote unquote, by title. Mm-hmm. However, because of the fact that she went directly to work out from high school and never went to college, right out of high school, she was considered a science technician. And this was just an amazing woman, one of my biggest heroes ever. Her name is Aunt Mary, so hi, Aunt Mary.
Hi, Aunt Mary.
And this woman was amazing. After working over 30 years for the federal government, as I said, as a science technician / chemist, she decided to go back to college at the age of, I believe it was 65 or something like that.
What?
And graduated with almost a 4.0 GPA, and is so actively involved in all of her alumni activities and that kind of stuff. And I'm just telling you, a woman like that, who had, say, after all the years, raised her child, all that good stuff, lost her husband, just all these amazing things, and still decided to go back to school when she was 65 years old. We were in college at the same time. It was crazy. But she is definitely one of my biggest inspirations. As I said, my mother, having me, so young and still being able to, to continue her life, not to have, everything interrupted. And of course, we all have dreams and aspirations that we may not have actually attained. But now I'm a great gleaming example of, for some individuals, raising your children is for all individuals, it's very important. But I think sometimes people really underestimate the value of being a great mom. And I thank her, for that. So many other. My wife is amazing. She inspires me. She's the number one Chris Cooper trooper, as I call her, and and she pushes me forward. My grandmother as well. Just amazing people. And I hate to get political, but honestly, this great historic election that we just had with the election of President-elect Barack Obama has been such an amazing ride for me in particular, because individuals like Barack Obama and lots of individuals that have come all before us, who are those change agents, do so many amazing and wonderful things, and really, as he said in his book, The Audacity of Hope, having believing that you can do it and that you deserve it, and I thank God for that experience, because now I can tell my son truly that he can be one of the most powerful positions in the entire world, and really mean it, and being an African American man, as I said myself, it's just a great sense of hope and belief that in this nation anything is possible.
And a lot of people talk about things like your Aunt Mary going back to college, for instance. They talk about, I'd really like to do that, or wouldn't it be wonderful to do that? There's an Irish proverb that says, you'll never plough a field by turning it over in your mind.
Exactly.
So what are some of the tips, what are some of the insights that you can give to people? Because you are one of the people everybody I interview on this show is a person who has thought about it but then has stepped up.
Right. And and if I may, I'll just share a quick poem from Walter D. Wenzel, and it's all to talk about the man who thinks he can, and it's all about making it happen. And and it says, if you think you're beaten, you are. If you dare not, you don't. If you like to win but think you can't, it's almost a cinch that you won't. If you think you lose, guess what? You've lost. For out in this world we find success begins with a fellow's will. It's all a state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win the prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man. But sooner or late, the man who wins, guess what? is the one who thinks he can. And I think that is a huge principle for each and every one of us to live. Life is going to, I'm a firm believer that, there are different types of people in the world, people that watch things happen, people that make things happen, and people that things happen to. So I want to be one of the ones that actually make things happen. And I think, but it takes that step. And like I said, my aunt going back to school at the age of 65 in classrooms with people literally, a quarter of her age, in the same types of classrooms and doing those types of things. But you know what? As we said before, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And I think so many times we always talk about what we don't have. We always talk about how, it's so hard, I can't do it, I can't. But you know what? If you say that, you won't do it. You have to actually, as I say, ignite the fire inside. Find out what you're passionate about. Find avenues to release that passion, and always you got to make things happen. It's a great story. I think if you're familiar with the way that Nike came up with that slogan, "Just Do It." They had some marketing executives that came in and they said, you know what, because Nike was getting annihilated by Reebok and some other competitors.
That's putting it mildly, yes.
Right, yeah. And they went through this whole long thing, and they're like, you know what, there's something about you guys here at Nike. You know what? You guys just do it.
Yeah.
And that just do it, just think about it. The swoosh is one of the most recognized advertising, symbols all across the world. Kids are saying it, want to be like Mike and, and all these other great and wonderful things. But you know what? It comes all that to, you have to just do it. Because, as I said, time is not on your side. That's the one thing that, that you can definitely bet on, that time is going to pass. And you just don't want to be one of those individuals that time passes over.
It's funny, I was speaking with a lovely, lovely lady. This was a lot of years ago now. She would have been in her late 70s, early 80s at the time. And she had actually just embarked on a degree program. And and I was talking with her, and I said, "Oh, you are such an inspiration. Just the fact that you're stepping up and you're doing this." Yeah, and I said, "What on earth made you go to not back to college? This was the first degree that she'd ever done. She didn't finish high school. She didn't finish traditional schooling." I said, "What on earth made you do it?" And she said, "Well, I'm figuring it will take me 4 or 5 years to do it part-time and everything." And she said, "God willing, I'll actually still be around in 4 or 5 years' time. So I would rather have that piece of paper and that learning behind me than not when I'm 4 or 5 years down the track."
Right. That is such a great, that's such an amazing principle. But I think people try to make these things so complex, and everybody wants the secret formulas to success, and everybody wants, the quick things, and I got to get it quick. But you know what? It's those simple things. Honestly, a lot of times it takes one idea.
Yeah.
Just one.
And like the work of Wallace Wattles, for instance, and and the science of getting rich and science of being well, and Charles Hannell, and it's about what happens in your mind first, and then acting in a certain way to make it happen. Now,
exactly.
One of the things that you and your company, and I'll mention it again, Execute Your Passion LLC is your company. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that you and your company are doing to really make that difference and help people to step up is you have a program called Achieve Your Dreams College Success Tour live in Atlanta, I understand.
Yes, and I'm so excited and just ready to just pull off this amazing event. Give you real quick history on the event. What it is, I'm very passionate, as you can see, about education. I'm very passionate about financial literacy, community involvement, and overall success strategies. So I said, you know what? I'm going to wrap all those things together, and guess what? I'm going to go affect some young people.
Fantastic.
So what I'm going to do is we're going to put 5,000 high school and college students in Phillips Arena. We're here in Atlanta where the Atlanta Hawks and Thrashers play. And we're putting together an amazing program, team-building exercises. We're going to do a mini college fair for the high school kids, a mini career fair for the college kids, and they all get a chance to go to the actual Indiana Pacers and Atlanta Hawks game afterwards. So, and I'm going to be speaking. It's going to be an empowerment session. It's just going to be an amazing, amazing time.
Fantastic. So I have to cut you off, Chris. ExecuteYourPassion.com. You can find out more information. This is Lee St. John, Quiet Achievers, Unsung Heroes. We'll be back next week. Thanks, Chris Cooper.
Thank you.